Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to the 64th episode of the FC24 Youth Academy series with Charlton Athletic. Alright, so if you missed the last episode, you're pretty much uninformed of what's going on. We are fast-tracking this last season here at Charlton. In one episode, we got almost to the January transfer window. We're simming a lot of these games. We're not even touching like cup games or the Champions League. We're focusing on the main matches that matter the most in the league. If we take a look at the current standings, we are 10 points ahead of Wolves, who we have to play right now. If we take a look at the league table, we have 37 points, 10 points clear of second placed Wolves, who we are going to play at the start of this episode. Our goal difference is far superior as well. We are just playing so well this season, and nobody has matched that yet in the league. If Wolves do win their game against us, things could turn a little bit awkward, especially if the simulation games don't go our way this episode. I'm just going to quickly show you guys the top scorers at the club. Right now it's Nelson Guzmão with 15 goals, and the top assister is Bobby Madigan with 10. Yeni's really close there with 8 though. So yeah, I would say everyone's having a pretty great season. Even our new signing Anderson in midfield is having a very good season. He's playing well in the league. He's been really good for us. Okay, it's time to take a look at Wolves' team. They have 3 losses and 2 wins in the last 5 matches, so it's inconsistent form as of late for them. They have a really good attack and a pretty good midfield. Let's take a look at some of their generated players. First up here is Armando Costa. He's an 80 rated center back from Cape Verde. Alexander Custodio is an 85 rated Portuguese center back. Hector Escrivá is an 86 rated Spanish center back. Abilio Noronha is an 80 rated Portuguese center back. David Pastor is a 71 rated Argentinian attacking midfielder. Darren Preslow still at the club, an 85 rated Jamaican winger. John Ramout, 83 rated Belgian midfielder. Alright guys, I left you on a cliffhanger last episode. This Wolves game is very important, and it's also really important that we field the strongest side. This is your team to take on Wolves. Let's show the rest of the league that we are head and shoulders above the rest. It's Charlton Athletic versus Wolves at the Valley. Yeah, it's a penalty. Jordan Balcon missed his tackle, and I thought that Freddie Spaliers should have gone in for support, but he takes out the man. It's a pretty soft, but actually it's really soft. I think he barely clips him. I'm going to my left. Ugh, bro, it's always wrong. It's always wrong. Great passing. Here is Anderson. Oh, wow, what a save. That is such a great save. Great passing. Yes, Bobby Madigan into the back of the net. We needed that equalizer. It came pretty soon after we conceded the first goal. It was a great move, to be honest. We kept the ball really smartly, and the passes and decisions were spot on. Here's Sasha Wolo finding Bobby Madigan. The defender probably needs to be doing a bit better there, but we're going to be taking that. Great finish by the Irishman. Bro, how are they finding this space? Pedro Neto. Great save by Issa Namdi at his near post. Wait, Issa Namdi missed it. Bro, how are you missing that? It's literally right there for him. He needs to be more commanding in his own box. That's on Issa Namdi. I called him out to claim that because it was pretty close to him. He just completely fumbled it. After 2 good saves, that's how we throw it away. That's a joke. Great passing here as Nelson Guzmão uses his left foot. That's another equalizer for us. Anderson just finding the timing and angle to release Nelson Guzmão. It's great positioning by our left winger there. Not sure what the Wolves defense are doing. They need to be covering that, but it's a good finish, and now we're level again. Over the top here to Sasha Wolo. Control that. There is the finish, and it's wide of the post. Bro, it's either straight at the keeper or it's off target. Nah, what a terrible game. Seriously, that feels so bad. We gifted Wolves with chances. They scored twice, and after we brought it level, we had a plethora of opportunities to find the back of the net. We threw away possession more times than I can even count. I can't describe to you guys how much we gave the ball away when we built up so much pressure in front of Wolves' net. On top of that, it's just poor finishing from Sasha Wolo. We needed to be winning that game after we brought the game level at 2-2. Okay, our next opponents in the league are Newcastle. They're sitting in 10th place. They have a decent form in the last 5 matches, picking up 3 wins in that time. They have a pretty decent squad, and they started the season off pretty well, but they've kind of fallen off since then. They're still a threat. They still have Yoshida, the Japanese right winger, who's like 85 rated at this point. Menchaca and Guidi, the defender and the midfielder. Those guys are pretty good players as well. Taking a look at our side, we have made 0 changes to the team. A disappointing result against Wolves means that we need to be picking up points here at St. James Park. All right, guys. So unfortunately, I pressed play match, and now we have to play match. There's Abelard and Yenny. Great passing, and there's the goal. It was too easy. I'm now going to sim this game from this position. And we end up winning 2-1. It took a while for us to score the goal. I accidentally pressed play match, but we scored with Abelard and Yenny pretty early on in the game from an assist by Anderson, and then Nelson Guzmão scores right before halftime. The next opponents are our local rivals, Crystal Palace, sitting in 8th place, but their form in the last 5 matches is not the best. I mean, they only have 1 loss, but it's still a little bit disappointing. They still have Aktuk, the 87-rated Moroccan striker, Justin McGank, the 86-rated Belgian center back, and they recently bought Gabriel Gouveia, an American winger who's like 84-rated. All right, this time I'm not going to hit play match. I'm going to hit quick sim and get this result. And we get absolutely thrashed by Crystal Palace 3-0 in our own house. Okay, next up in the league is Leicester City. They only have 1 win in their last 5 matches. They're sitting in 15th place. They do have Bosserup, who's a Danish center back. I think he's pretty good. They spend a decent amount of money on him. All right, guys, you know the drill. It's the same team to take on Leicester here. We need some good points here, though. And we end up drawing. Segore scores an equalizer. I'll take the point. All right, guys, this is our first match in the January transfer window. It's against Manchester United, who are having a really poor season. 1 win in their last 5 matches. Sitting in 14th. It's just not what they need to be doing. They still have a pretty good team, so I don't know what the problem is. All right, guys, we're going with the same team, the strongest side. It's unfortunate we can't include Lamar Gilzine a little bit more, but I just think Anderson and Madigan is a perfect midfield duo with Gagnon right behind them. Let's get straight into the result. And we end up winning 2-1. Anderson and Nyeni scoring our 2 goals. All right, guys, it is Leicester City yet again. The fixtures are starting to reverse now that we're in January. And we're going with the same team, except we're bringing Lamar Gilzine in at midfield to replace Bobby Madigan. Let's get straight into the result. And we end up winning 2-0. A clean sheet is always nice to see. Sasha Willow and Nelson Guzmão, the wingers, scoring the 2 goals for us. Alright, guys, the next match is against Crystal Palace, who just destroyed us. We are going to have to play them at Selhurst Park as well, but I believe there's going to be a different result here for sure. We're still setting the same exact side that lost to them 3-0, but I still believe in this team. We've been playing so well this season, there's no reason we shouldn't be able to get points against anyone. We end up losing 2-1. We lose both games against Crystal Palace. It just can't be happening, but this result is kind of normal. I mean, these guys are having a decent season, but that home game should never ever have happened. 3-0 is ridiculous. Okay, guys, next in the league is Liverpool, who sit in 12th place. It's not a great season from them. They need to be doing better. They have a great squad. They recently bought Svana from Villarreal, the midfielder from Denmark. He's about 85 rated at this point. They still have Colin Russell. These guys need to be doing a lot better. These guys are definitely underperforming. Since we are at home, we are going to be simming this match against Liverpool. We really need to pick up a win, though. And we pick up the loss. Curtis Jones picking up a red card in the 33rd minute, and then Cody Gakpo scoring a winner in the 86th. That is not what you want to see. That's pretty pathetic, to be honest. Okay, guys, surely this is where we pick up the win. 19th place Burnley. These guys have a very good striker in Gonzalo Ramos, but for some reason they're in the relegation zone. I don't know what's going on with them, but we need to be beating these guys, at least drawing. Let's get straight into the simulated result. Let's see what happens here. It's a draw. Gonzalo Ramos, who I just hyped up, scoring the winner. I keep talking about these players in the pre-match report, and then they go and score these goals. All right, next up is United, who I believe we beat recently. They're still in the mid-table, but they are undefeated in their last 5 matches, picking up 2 wins. These guys should not be this low. They have a very good team. All right, let's get straight into the simulated result. We're fielding the same strong side against United. And we win. We finally win. Abelard and Yenny and Anderson linking up again, scoring both our goals. All right, guys, taking a look at our next opponents, Manchester City. It looks like they turned their season around. Last time we played them, they were a mid-table team. They had a pretty poor start to the season, but they've recovered since then, and they've picked up a lot of points. However, in the last 5 matches, it's not been good from them. So they've dropped to 6th place because they were previously 4th a couple weeks ago. We've been over this team time and time again. These guys are ridiculous. They have Jaboa at left wing. Akish Malvia is still an attacking midfielder for them, who's probably 88 rated at this point. And they still have Andres Jerez, the left back, and John Odlazabal, the Spanish holding midfielder. All right, guys, we're not seeing any rotation in this side. We are going with the same team that we have been throughout this entire season. Let's get straight into the result. And we lose 2-1. Jaboa scoring a brace to take all the points for Manchester City. All right, guys, we have a must-win match here. It's bottom of the table Norwich City. They have 2 wins in their last 5 matches, but they are bottom for a reason. They're probably the worst team in the league based on overall. It's time we get a result. Same team, guys. Some of these players are starting to get unhappy. I don't know what that's about, but we need to be getting the 3 points here. What is this result? 4-4? score. Abelard and Yeni hat-trick and Bobby Madigan scoring one, and we allowed them to get a point from us. We dropped 2 points. Abelard and Yeni needed to score in the 89th minute just to take a point here in total. That's ridiculous. All right, guys, next up are Tottenham. These guys are having a pretty decent season. They're sitting in 5th place. They have 3 wins on their last 5 matches and a decent squad. I think they're overperforming their overalls. They have a lot of average players, but fair play to them. I know we've been disappointing with this team lately, but it's our strongest side, and we need to be picking up form to boost morale. Let's get straight into the result. We end up winning. That's good. Anderson and Segore scoring the winner in the 88th minute. All right, guys, a very important game here. We are facing Brighton, who are in 2nd place. They've built up huge momentum this season. They have a good squad. Their last 5 matches are not the greatest, but it doesn't matter because these guys are easily our biggest rivals to the title right now in the second half of the season. Let's take a look at their generated players. First up here is Cameron Granger. The English keeper is now 87 rated after all these years. Josep Gajigo still at the club, 83 rated Spanish midfielder. Song Soo Hwang is still 86 rated, the Korean striker. He's probably having a great season. He always has had ever since he's joined the Prem a couple years ago. Jaco Miranda is still at the club, 81 rated Argentinian center back. Martin Ponchi, 81 rated Portuguese right back. Thomas Revenik is from Luxembourg. He is 87 rated and he was purchased from Barcelona this summer, I believe. Alright, guys, it's finally time to play a game after that Wolves result. I'm itching to pick up 3 points against the top team in the league, and this is the strongest team in the Premier League other than us right now. We're not in the best of form. The second half of this season has not been good from us. We need to start building momentum again. It's Brighton versus Charlton Athletic. Oh, wow. Saved off the line. Revenik's header was caught by Jordan Balkan. Right, passing here. Ooh, going for an overhead kick there. And there's a shot by Anderson. It's saved. It's a pass here to Nelson Guzmão, finding Anderson. It's in the bottom corner. A few minutes away from halftime. This game has been end to end, but we find the opener first. Oh, great take there by Anderson. He's stolen the ball here. He could play in Abelard and Yeni. Great pass here. Here's Abelard and Yeni. Has to beat Gabriel. Here's Abelard. Oh, it's in the back of the net. Guys, we have dealt with so much pressure from Brighton in this game. It's ridiculous. They love to keep the ball. They love keeping possession. And to be honest, they're very dangerous in the final third. But we've dealt with it. We've soaked up all this pressure. And Abelard and Yeni has to be praised there with the strength and pace he showed. And then the composure to use his left foot there. That is class. That's elite right there. And it's just given us the 3 points. And there's the shot caught in the air by Issa Namdi, and the referee ends the match. It's a 2-0 victory here away from home by Charlton. The Brighton fans very disappointed because they know that they needed to beat us here in order to have a chance at the title. Now our gap is even bigger. I think it's back to 10 points now. We'll have to check that after the game, but I'm very proud of the boys for hanging on in this game and then showing their quality up front. And there you go, guys. Just quick confirmation. We are 10 points clear of Brighton, who sit in 2nd place. All right, guys. Our next match here is against Chelsea, who are having a strong season. They're in 4th place, and they have a pretty good squad, picking up 3 wins in their last 5 matches. Taking a look at some of their generated players, they've still, of course, got Ichigawa up front, the Japanese striker, is 86 rated. Seidel, the German midfielder, is like 85, 86 rated. Alihodzic, the Bosnian keeper, is 85. Hachini is 87 rated, the Moroccan center back. They've got some great players. We're going to go with the same side that beat Brighton. It doesn't matter too much if we drop points to Chelsea here, but it would be very good if we picked up the win. Let's get into the result. And it's a 2-0 win, another 2-0 win, back-to-back. Abelard and Yeni scoring again, and Anderson scoring again. That's exactly what happened last game, too. That is interesting. All right, taking a look at our next opponents, we are facing Leeds United. These guys are in 7th place. They don't have the best squad, but to be honest, they're having a great season. They're performing well. They, of course, have Clinton Gahol. The Filipino winger used to play for us, and it's great to see him play for a team that are doing so well in the league. We're going to go with the same side that beat Chelsea and Brighton. We're not making any changes to the starting 11. Let's see what result we get. And we end up destroying Leeds 3-0. Abelard and Yeni, Nelson Guzmão, and Freddie Spaliers getting on the score sheet. All right, the very next match, which was 2 days after the previous one, is Aston Villa. They're now in 7th place, but they're undefeated in their last 5 matches. This could prove to be a tougher match. They, of course, have Emmanuel Obiang, the Gabonese Chinese striker who is 85 rated. They also have Danny Spadaro, our former player from Australia, probably starting at right wing for them. Alright, nothing more to say here. Let's just get straight into the simulation and the result. And we end up drawing here 2-2. That's not too disappointing. Aston Villa are a decent team. Sassuolo and Abelard and Yeni picking up the goals for us. Alright, let's take a look at Arsenal now. We are playing them next in the league. Not really sure why they're doing so poorly. Up to this point, Arsenal have been at the very summit of the Premier League throughout this series, but for some reason they're having a poor season now. It's come at a good time though. They've picked up 3 wins in their last 5 matches. Taking a look at some of their generated players, they're pretty much all fantastic. Matthias Lacuna is 87 rated. Moll is like 86. Colic 85. Cordoba is around 83. Fayol, the French right back, is like 86, 87 rated. Fazil Andrea possibly starting on the bench should not be happening. He's like 89 rated. These guys should not be 8th place. Because we're facing Arsenal, we can't afford to make any changes to the starting 11. Let's just get straight into the simulation. And we end up winning 2-0. Man, Arsenal not playing well against us. I believe we beat them in the simulation earlier in the season. It's Abelard and Yeni and Sassuolo scoring again for us. Okay guys, next up on the calendar is Newcastle United. Like I said before, they were having a pretty good start to the season. They have since fallen off, and it makes sense. They don't have the best team, but it's still pretty quality, and they're capable of beating us like they did at the beginning of last season. Alright guys, we're making 2 changes to the starting 11, and they're both coming in midfield. It's Casa Lagesse and Lamar Gilzin. Both of these guys are unhappy, but especially Casa Lagesse, who's seeing no action because of Noel Gagnan. I want these guys to be happy. They've been with us for a while. Let's get straight into the simulated result. We end up winning 1-0. A clean sheet is always great to have, and it's Abelard and Yeni scoring yet again for us. This guy's been ridiculous for us this season. Alright guys, our next match is against Wolves, who are in 5th place. They've dropped off in form since we faced them at the start of this episode. They've only picked up 2 wins in their last 5 matches. They've got no hope of winning a title this season, but I would like to get revenge against them. I believe I am going to be playing this game. It's quite an important one, and I'll show you guys why. Alright guys, if you take a look, we're currently sitting at 72 points with 33 games played, so that's 5 games left. Brighton have played 32 games, so they've got 6 games left to play, and they've picked up 56 points. Assuming they win the rest of their 6 games, they would pick up 18 points and get to 74 in total. That's the most points that they could possibly pick up. So if we beat Wolves today, that means we get 75, which would guarantee us the title. All right, let's take a look at the starting 11. Nothing has changed. I would like to have played Lamar Gilzin, but he recently played, and his stamina isn't at 100%, which is my fault. We are going to look to include him later on in the game, probably to replace Bobby Madigan, but this is the team that could possibly win the Premier League title. The game is at Molineux. Let's get straight into it. It's Wolves versus Charlton Athletic. Ball over the top here, and there's Anderson to Abelard and Yeni. Oh man, that is a mess at the back, but we don't score. It's Bobby Madigan trying the long shot. Abelard and Yeni. Here's Nelson Guzmão. Great angle for him, but it's saved. Sassuolo looking for Nelson Guzmão again. It's not on target. Great pass here to Sassuolo from Bobby Madigan. Oh, it's a clean finish. It's a great opener. I love when we play passes like that. Just splitting the defense, using our pace. It's 1-0. Oh, great move. Freddie Spaliers saving a certain goal. Great pass here to Abelard and Yeni. That is saved by Andrew. This passing is stupid. Centimeter perfect. There were 3 events in that entire move where we should have won the ball, and we just barely missed it. I don't know how we haven't won the ball. Freddie Spaliers needs to get a touch there. That's a great goal by Wolves, but it doesn't happen again. The probability of that happening must be so low. Bro, that's a bad tackle. What are they doing? They keep sliding in at us. It's like they have something against us. I don't know why they're doing this. And it's a red card. It's deserved. Oh, great passing. Here's Jordan Balcon into Nelson Guzmão. Here's Nelson Guzmão. He has to score. It's a great save. Great passing here. Great shot. Issa Namdi saves it. That was just saved off of the line, and now we're looking to break. What is this game, bro? Honestly, a terrible result. It's happened again against Wolves, given the opportunity to score so many goals and just coming short. 2 points dropped again against this team, and an early red card really meant that we should have won this game, and we should have won the title here. The games that we actually feature and play are very important, and to throw it away when we had the perfect opportunity to take it all just feels terrible. Are we actually going to win the Premier League in a simulation now? All right, guys, our next game is against Southampton, and we are going to be playing this game because I don't believe it's even mathematically possible for Brighton to win the league anymore. Brighton had 2 games in hand, and they drew both of those matches, so the highest points tally they could get is, I believe, 70. We're like at 73 ourselves. So taking a look at this final team that we're going to be playing with Charlton, it's honestly not bad. Southampton are in mid-table, and their team is pretty good. They've got an 85 attack, 83 midfield, and 82 defense. We've seen worse than that. They still have Marcus Downey, who scored against us earlier in the season. They don't really have other good regens. I mean, Orquera and Chidzero are probably going to start, and they're pretty decent. Here's the plan for the game against Southampton. We're going with the same team we've been going with throughout the entire season. However, we're going to bring Lamar Gilsing on so he can finish the match with the team and get his Premier League medal. And we're going to do the same with Bo Taverner at right back for Yakuba Segure. Let's get straight into this final match that we're going to be featuring for this season. The rest of the matches will be simulated. I'm saying this for the very last time now. It's Charlton Athletic versus Southampton at the Valley. Over the top here to Nelson Guzmão. Nelson Guzmão using his left foot. That's a special goal for the final match that we play with Charlton. That's exactly what you want to see. And it's happened so early. A beautiful ball played in from Anderson in midfield. And Nelson Guzmão has the pace to catch it. And then he just strikes that. Great technique.
Nope.
Great defending by Freddie Spiliers and Jordan Balcon to mop up. They've been great this season. They really have. Oh, wait. What a pass! And it's a goal! That's one of the best passes that we've seen in the series. Great counterattack by us, but wow. That is so good from Nelson Guzmão, finding Sasha Uwolo, and it's in the bottom corner. That feels so good to score in this final match that we play. Oh, this could be a goal here. Saskar Noholo. It's going to be a penalty. He did not win the ball cleanly. I'm not going to say where we're going to go. I'm just going to go to the side that I think he's shooting at. It's worked. Right passing here. Here is Abelard and Yeni going for goal. It's saved. Right pass here to Abelard and Yeni. That's saved. That is such a shame. And he's going to find Nelson Guzmão, I believe. Here is Nelson Guzmão. First time Sasha Uwolo gets another chance. It's saved by Muric. The pass here to Bo Taverner. Here is Bo Taverner. Good dribbling. There's Bo Taverner. That is so special. That actually almost makes me emotional. Bo Taverner coming off the bench. This guy probably scored 1 or 2 goals in the Football League system, maybe in like League 1 in the Championship, but he's done it in the final game. Bo Taverner gets a goal in the Premier League. That's poetic, guys. It's poetic, and it was meant to be. Ooh, wow, what a shot. And somehow Anderson decides to foul the man instead of trying to head it and clear it away. Are you serious? Here's another penalty save by Issa Namdi, and he's going to keep the ball as well. That's the end, guys. It's over. The final game is up. The referee has called it, and the boys are coming off the bench. It's a resounding 3-0 victory. A very good day for Charlton because we are now Premier League champions. We get to lift the trophy. We've been waiting all series for this ever since January. We've been building so much. This team has changed a lot, but some of the core people are still around. Issa Namdi, Abelard Idiani, Bobby Madigan, and Bo Taverner, who got on the score sheet today, our former captain, who we picked up in probably the first episode of this entire series. It's just a beautiful way to end it. And we've got Asaskar Naholo stepping up. Look at that Premier League trophy. It's beautiful. We deserve this, guys. We are Premier League champions. Such a great way to end this series. I've had so much fun. I couldn't be prouder of these boys. We spent so long building towards this moment. It's time for the final pose. It's Charlton Athletic, Premier League champions. Okay, guys, we have 3 games left on the calendar to simulate. We're obviously not playing these games at all. The title is confirmed. We're probably going to look to play a lot of our bench players and people who haven't gotten a chance this season. All right, we're playing Fulham now. They have Dennis Rebello, of course, our former player. But if you take a look at the starting 11, there's a lot of rotation. We're bringing Lamar Gilzine, Kahuna Mogo, and Bo Taverner into the starting 11. And we end up drawing. It's Sasha Wolo and Anyeni with goals. All right, now it's time to simulate the Nottingham Forest game. We're at home. We're we're making 2 changes. We're bringing Chiriange and Fala into the defense to replace Kahuna Mogo and Jordan Balkan. And we end up winning. Bo Taverner scoring again. This guy's got 2 Premier League goals this season. I love seeing that so much. And for the final game in this entire series, it's West Ham versus Charlton Athletic. West Ham still have Denny Antonez. I'm glad that a former player of ours is going to be in the lineup for our final match. This is the final starting 11 that you're going to be seeing for Charlton Athletic. Abelard and Yenny up top, Nelson Gusmao and Sasha Wello on the wings, Lamar Gilzin, Noel Gagnon, and Bobby Madigan in the midfield. And we've got Jordan Balkan, Freddie Spaliers, Esas Karnaholo, Bo Taverner as our back line with Issa Namdi. Yakuba Sagore would have started this match, but since he's a newer player, we're going to give the seniority privilege to Bo Taverner. He will play in this final match. This is obviously going to be simulated. Let's just see what result we get. And we end up drawing 2-2. Bobby Madigan and Abelard and Yenny on the score sheet. That's the final match, guys. That's it. The Premier League is over now. Alright, looks like the team of the tournament has been announced for the Premier League, and we've got Issa Namdi, Jordan Balkan, and Spaliers. Saskar Nahola does not make the team, but Nelson Gusmao, Noel Gagnon, interestingly, Bobby Madigan, Sasha Wello, and Abelard and Yenny. That's a lot of Charlton players. The Golden Boot winner was Abelard and Yenny. This guy played every single match for us in the Prem, and he scored 25 goals and assisted 10 times. What a season from him. Goalkeeper of the tournament was Issa Namdi. That is fantastic. We just keep picking up these awards. Alright, it's time to take a look at the stats for our players this season. So the people who made the most appearances for us were Issa Namdi, Freddie Spaliers, Sasha Willow, and Nelson Gusmao, all with 53 appearances. If you guys are thinking that's pretty low, it's because it kind of is. We did not go far in the Champions League. We lost, I believe, in the round of 16 or the quarterfinals to Barcelona. The people with the most clean sheets were Freddie Spaliers, Jordan Balkan, Abelard and Yenny, and Yakuba Sagore. Our top assister was Bobby Madigan, of course. 13 assists, 13 of those assists coming in the Premier League. It's a great tally. This guy is obviously our best passer in the team, and he has been for some time now, ever since we picked him up from the free agents list all the way back in episode 1 alongside Bo Taverner. What a servant this guy has been. If you guys remember Finn Geach, a former player of ours, I thought he was going to be the special one, but Bobby Madigan always appeared under the radar. He was never a super special player, but he was always consistent. He was always reliable. Interestingly, right below Madigan was Nyeni and Gusmao with 13 assists each. Actually, Nelson Gusmao picked up 12 assists in the Premier League, which is 1 below Bobby Madigan. Nelson Gusmao had a great season in the Prem. Another very balanced scoring and assisting season from our Portuguese star. And in terms of top scorer, Abelard and Yenny, 32 goals in 52 appearances. It's such a great return. Nelson Gusmao had 24, and then Sasha Willow had 17, 15 of those coming in the Premier League. There were so many games that Sasha Willow scored in. He scored a lot of winners for us, as did Abelard and Yenny. 25 goals in the Premier League, as we just saw. It's a Golden Boot season for Abelard and Yenny, and he has to be the player of the season as well. No other player in this side has had a greater influence on the team than Abelard and Yenny. If you guys remember, Abelard and Yenny was actually in our youth academy the very second we started this save. We did not need to scout him. He was already in the academy alongside Issa Namdi. Both of those guys are literally day 1 players, and it's amazing to see that they're both stars for the club still. With that being said, I think it's time to take a look at the entire squad. So we've got Issa Namdi, as we just said. This guy was with us from the very start. He's been fantastic throughout the entire save. Once he got established into the team, there wasn't a doubt that Issa Namdi was going to stick with us throughout the entire save. What a keeper. Gamal Germoni, I don't even think he played once for us, but I'm glad that we did have a backup option. Mohsen Faldo, it was a shame he did not get more playing time this season because he was fantastic for us off the bench. Whenever we needed to call upon him, he was always there, and he was very reliable. One of the best backup fullbacks that I've ever had the pleasure of playing with. Jordan Balkan, once we picked him up from the Belgian league, he just solidified his position at left back. He replaced Jay Fabinyi, and he never looked back. This guy is such a reliable defender. His physicality isn't there, but his decision making and his interceptions were just class. Kahuna Mogo, a reliable backup defender. He barely featured for us, but when he did, he showed a maturity that was beyond his years. Saskar Naholo, now 88 rated. This guy has been our most special defender throughout
throughout the entire series. He's got the physicality, and he's got the mental and the technicality as well. There isn't a single weakness to Saskar Naholo's game. He's the captain for a reason. He's a leader at the back. He's my ideal center back. It's been so amazing witnessing his defensive displays. Freddie Spaliers, he was purchased last season. He's grown a lot. He's such a towering defender, great physicality, and he's worked on his timing in defense as well. His positioning and his technicality has gotten better. Jordi Sapanic spent seasons out on loan with Burnley, but when he was called upon in defense, he was actually pretty decent. He was a pretty good asset for us when we played him. Martin Parrado never played for the team. He's still out on loan. Felix Chiriange, I wish I could have played him more because he honestly has great potential. His stats look very good. His physicality, his defending, and his pace are kind of ridiculous. I wish I played him more, to be honest. Bo Taverner, another player we picked up in season 1. He scored twice today in this episode. What a special ending for a player who never really made the headlines but was reliable for us. The team outgrew him in the end, but he was able to give us a crucial goal to win us the Premier League title. Can't ask for more. Yakuba Sagori, purchased from Freiburg a couple seasons ago, completely took the right back spot for himself. His physicality was ridiculous. It was such a breath of fresh air, and he was a big reason that our defense was immaculate when he came in. He helped the team finish second 2 seasons ago, I believe. Costa Legese moved to holding midfielder after several seasons at center mid. His stats fit the holding midfielder archetype. He had a really high potential when we scouted him, and it's a shame he hasn't reached it, but he had a lot of good games for us, and he's a great backup holding midfielder. Noel Gagnan, purchased from Millonarios. This guy's technicality and passing and interceptions and ball control is so good. He's very classy on the ball. He's a classy player, and his defending is so good as well. He only scored 1 goal for us in his career here at Charlton, but he's had great several years with us, and he's honestly the perfect holding midfielder for this team. Alexis Matsuka never played for the team. We just move on to the next player. Dada Garin was Sean Ayala's replacement, and he barely featured for the club. He came off the bench several times. I'm not sure if he scored for us. No, he did not. So this guy was kind of a nothing player. We went over Bobby Madigan as we went over the stats. Now we move on to Lamar Gilzine. This guy still has such high potential, an extremely aggressive midfielder who was able to give us such great value in offense and in defense. He did not play that much this season, only because Anderson was such a great player for us, but Lamar Gilzine has been with us for years, and he's grown really nicely in midfield. Santi Aburto, he had a pretty good start for us when he joined the club, but he had some pretty poor moments, but outside of that, he was decently reliable. Not a bad player at all. Anderson, purchased this summer from Leicester City, had a really good season, to be honest. He scored 9 goals in the Prem and assisted 8 times. That's a very good return for a guy who's 20 years old. If the series were to continue, Anderson would for sure be the star in midfield. This guy's grown a lot, and it's been a pleasure playing with him this season. Very good quality midfielder. Zeki Yakovo is next, and he did not really play for us that much. He's grown to 80 overall now, but he did score an important goal for us in the Champions League last season, and I'll never forget that. Denny Pangalila was promoted from the youth academy, and he hasn't played a single game for us. He doesn't have great potential, so we're just going to move on to the next player. Nelson Guzmão, we've already touched on this guy, but he was purchased from FC Famalicão in Portugal. He was a replacement for Fazal Andrea, who we sold to Arsenal a couple years ago, and he took the responsibility of filling for Fazal Andrea so well. He scored so many goals for us. I mean, this guy started off as a 78 overall for us, but he played so special. This guy has been really, really good for us. A very good winger, cutting in from the left wing. He's a very balanced attacker too. I'm so glad that we picked him up. We've made a lot of decisions in this series, and picking up Nelson Guzmão was probably the best one. Next up is Martin Nevenzel, who didn't really feature for us this season, but he scored some good goals for us off the bench the previous 2 seasons. He was a really good substitute. He has a lot of pace. Sacha Uwolo, purchased last season from Olympique Lyon in France. He started off as a center forward who was about 83 rated. He ends now as an 87 rated right winger. He's still 20 years old, which is insane. This guy still has some growing to do if the series were to continue, but man, this guy's crossing is the best I've ever seen. His ability to use both feet as well as the outside of his boot with the Trivela pass, it's ridiculous. His passing and crossing was a joy to behold the last 2 seasons. He did score some very, very good goals. Even though he was kind of inconsistent in front of goal, overall this guy is a special winger. Next up is Tolis Kairides, a guy who never really broke into the first team, but he scored some decent goals for us in the championship. I'm glad he's part of the team right now. Abelard Unyeni, we've touched on this guy already. The MVP of this entire series. It's been an honor playing with him. Next up is Wesley Liang, who was a fantastic option off the bench. He scored so many goals as a substitute. I honestly can't ask for a better backup striker. This guy was promoted from our academy, and I'm so happy happy to see that he's still a part of the squad. 83 rated now. Fantastic option. He single-handedly gave us many points. And lastly on the list is Frank Guarasa, who hasn't played a single game for the club. Alright guys, that was a lot of talking. I'm gonna need a break after this, but I'm gonna leave it there. We're finally at the end of the video and the end of this series. I just want to thank anyone who's watched this series. No matter how much time you've spent watching any of my videos, I just want to thank you for tuning in. I've spent a lot of time working on this series and there have been ups and downs, but we finally end this series on such a great note. I've had a blast doing this. This Charlton save is special to me because it's my first ever, and I'll never forget the memories that I've made here. Anyway guys, if you've enjoyed this series, make sure you leave a like on the video. Leave any comments down below reacting to this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to not miss out on future videos, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.